let's look at the ANC and its alliance with COSATU and SACP rather, for a moment. The ANC describes itself as a broad church with a diverse congregation that includes capitalists, trade unionists, and communists. Now that the ANC is in the business-friendly GNU, does this mean that the ANC has moved from center-left of our politics to center-right?
I don't think it has moved to the center-right, but I do think that the ANC is maybe beginning the divorce from the SACP. And I think the Communist Party feels the same way. So their Secretary General has said that maybe it's time for the SACP to put itself on the ballot box and see what voters have to say for them. Our polling suggests they would not be very popular. But I should add something. If you look at a guy like David Masondo, the Deputy Finance Minister, he is a member of the SACP and of the ANC. And he recently made comments about prescribed assets, which is a complicated issue, but basically what it is the government wants to take your pension and say how you must invest it. And there's millions and millions of people with pensions in this country. Every government worker, most people in the formal sector have some kind of pension. So it's like 2 trillion rand or 4 trillion rand, depending on how you count, that the government can say, use that money to buy Eskom shares. And some people don't want that to happen, because if you had to buy shares in Eskom, maybe your pension is suddenly going to be worth half as much. And the ANC policy going into the election was, we want to do prescribed assets for the good of the country. Now, just a couple of weeks ago, Masondo was saying, prescribed assets are terrible. You must rather let capitalism do its job, let investor confidence lead the way, let the profit motive drive. The pension fund holders, they are the ones who know the best place to put the money in order to grow the money. So that is a huge change, and it's even coming from a member of the Communist Party. So part of what might happen is that the Communist Party might divorce from the ANC, or the Communist Party might actually in effect cease to exist, because it itself is in a confused state, and I don't know that it has the strength of leadership to survive the current period that we're in, where, to be sure, the ANC is shifting, not a lot, but it is shifting gently and clearly in a more business-friendly direction.
Yes. And I mean, of course, you've mentioned with SACP and them not being as friendly to the general public as, of course, the ANC and EFF. Do you think maybe Solly may come up with a strategy that could perhaps draw people in? I mean, you mentioned Julius Malema being an individual who actually is keeping the EFF alive.
Yeah, I think Solly is an interesting person to talk with, because he's very, I think he's sincere, but I don't think that he is as politically capable as a retail politician as someone like Malema. But in my analysis, the EFF is the youth league of the Communist Party. It calls itself basically the youth league of the ANC. Okay. That's how Malema started it when he was kicked out. But he took the Communist Party's policy program. Their manifesto from the beginning, from 2014, was very clear. We want to nationalize all the land, your house. I don't have a house, but if the viewer has a house, the government must take that house and then decide whether you can stay there or not stay there. That is a communist idea. It was not really an ANC idea until Malema was pushing it from that side. So I think the EFF and the Communist Party could function hand in hand quite effectively. And that is one thing to look out for if the tripartite alliance is to fall apart. The other side of the alliance is COSATU. And I must say, COSATU, I've spent time in Parliament this year, for example, on the procurement legislation. How is 1.2 trillion rand spent? COSATU was one of the sternest critics of the ANC in how they were trying to change the law. Because COSATU was saying, you guys are making this thing even more confusing. There's going to be even more state capture if you do it this way. Cut the red tape, make it simpler. It's very rare for a trade union to say, cut the red tape, make it simpler. But COSATU is doing that because I think it sees how badly state capture has damaged the lives of workers that belong to the union and to their broader families, to their communities where people are unemployed. And so there's a seriousness, there's an effort to get serious in South Africa. And to get serious, I think it does mean splitting the moderate left from the radical left and saying which policies don't work on the radical side and how do you go for a more practical way forward where people can actually make money rather than just take and redistribute.